Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the last portion of this episode of Positive EV. Once again, my name is Frax the Third. Today is joining me is Nombers. So we're going to talk about stock cults today, and something that's relatively recent in forming since the development of the internet, most recently in the last year. Um, that's a personal interest of yours, isn't it, Numbers?
It is cults in general, and specifically, I think it's been fascinating to watch over the last what has it been like 12 months almost, right? How
Yeah,
crazy it's gotten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
12. I think 12 months. That's when the real the GameStop squeeze and short squeeze and everything happened.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one thing that set it all off. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you. It seems based on the previous podcast, it seems like generally speaking, more about the stock market than I do. Um,
I
I
know bits and pieces. I won't claim to be an expert because I'm not. All of my stuff is
no,
self-taught and experience in the market and what I've seen and as historical performance and as predictors.
yeah,
But I'm not. I'm by no means an expert, but I do have some knowledge on the topic of stocks.
yeah, and I've learned a lot throughout the last year. Like I think a lot of people have around stocks in general.
And I think that's what's
Uh,
created the cult is this all of a sudden this access to so much knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And and also sort of it's a new way that like cults I think in general has it is like sort of crept into it, right?
Yeah.
Because you sort of
On a side
sorry.
note, I'm so sorry. On a side note, Jesus has just released a video about the Stockholm sticker sale going terribly wrong.
Nice,
He's just released
nice. I
that.
like
That's a timestamp for everybody, so you can date this video when you see it
yeah.
live. That's
I like to I like to point out that I personally wrote to Jesus yesterday. I told him about the issue. I'm sure he was aware before, but and he replied to me. So I'm basically famous now, just as you.
hey,
Yeah, just so you
hey.
know. Oh man,
uh,
it's classic. So on point, right? I mean,
that's
but
absolutely on point. But anyway, back to stock cults.
yeah,
The
yeah. The thing about stock cults is I think it's a really fascinating. I've always been really fascinated about cults in general and why people join them, and what the appeal is. And I think that what we're seeing with GameStop and with AMC and all this is a really specific combination of the Corona crisis and also uh, a lot of that's going to be political, but a lot of like inequality in America specifically,
yeah,
and some of the issues that they've had over the last couple of years. And I think that it's a really fascinating topic, and I think that it's something that only has one way to end, right?
yeah.
It and I've also spoken to a lot of people in like my co-working space who are a bit older than I am, and they could also refer back and like there's so many similarities like with not so much the stock calls, but like this speculation, insane speculation that's going on in the market right now,
Diamond
and how
hands.
yeah, and like '08 or something,
Screw the
it,
institutional investors. Let's just
yeah,
ape
exactly,
into let's ape into this. Oh, it's made people lots of money. It's lost people lots of money.
yeah, exactly. And I think also like some of the like most tragic part of it is like people who like spend money or who got lucky on like a really risky investment, and then they that gambling instinct like kicks in,
Yep.
and they continue. It's like people who open the rare skin and they don't stop. They don't think, okay, wow, that was great. They continue, and then they lose it all.
Yep.
And
Saying that, I have opened four knives in CS.
oh yeah, like in order for this economy to survive, we need people opening stuff. So I'm all for that. As long as it benefits us, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
But
I think my last knife made me pretty even slash in profit, uh,
yeah.
which was a
But I actually like that's a bit of a different topic, but I think maybe it's an okay side note. I think that it's an interesting issue with Counter Strike, the moral aspect of it, and I also think like I don't know if you watch Feltz, the YouTuber, but
I have. He has actually been in listening with us.
I see.
He
Okay,
has been. I've
but
seen him
he
popping in and out.
okay, but he has I think it's a really he's my favorite YouTuber. I should preface that, but I think that
Oh,
he has a,
thanks,
like a
thanks.
he goes. He's my second favorite YouTuber. But like he goes in and he has like a moment where he talks about like the consequences of that of like him personally, like the gambling aspect of it and how he got caught up in
Yep.
that. He's out of it now, but he got caught up in it, and you know the same that's a consequence of like this economy that is not that great.
Yeah.
So yeah, super interesting, and I think that we're just seeing the same rippling effects over in a lot of other areas now. We also saw it with NFTs, and we saw a lot of this speculation is just going crazy.
Yeah. Wall Street
Um,
bets has been something amazing to study.
oh yeah, oh
Oh
yeah,
my god. To see people screenshot these massive gambling positions, like out of the money call options for SPY, and their
yeah,
portfolio goes through the roof, and then they go, I'm gonna, what, these are just numbers on a screen. I'm gonna do this again. I'm 17 and I have $150,000. Let's do it again, and they lose it
yeah,
all.
exactly. That it's such at least at least if when they use their own money, it's terrible. But like the thing
When you go
the
into
thing that where
debt.
it goes, yeah, that's not
Yeah.
great.
Or you see the posts, all right, I'm $4 million in debt from an out of the money call overnight. Do I hang myself now or what do I do?
Uh,
Like,
yeah, exactly, and that's the sort of behavior that's really not going to go down well. At some point, people are going to lose faith in this, and it's gonna crash and burn. So
yep.
but it's a really fascinating topic in general. It's just a really fascinating area, and I think actually like how much do you think like that we've seen a really big increase over for the CS:GO economy, but how much of this do you think is correlated with the other speculative
I
behavior?
I think CS goes up in a boat with crypto. People
Mm,
make ridiculous money in crypto, and they need to secure profit somewhere. So, so money goes. You've got a flow of money from your main currencies into crypto as a speculative investment that pays off, and then they have to secure that profit before it goes away. So that's where it goes into your collectibles like CS, like Magic the Gathering, like cars. I know the secondary car market in the States is really, really hot right now. Um, there are lots of ways to secure that profit, even purchasing more stocks. Crypto market booms. People take that money, put it into stocks if they're reasonably sensible, traditionally sensible, and
yeah,
those stocks go up. So the explosive gains have to be put somewhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I me personally, I think we have seen. I think that's a good way to say it. I think that we've seen an increase. Um, um, we've also seen a downturn, right?
Yeah.
And over the last like half a year or something.
Yep.
And I actually personally feel pretty good about
Yeah.
where the market is right now. I
Aside from the Turkish incident.
aside, yeah, aside, definitely aside from
For
that, but I feel like
individual cases and skins, I think we're doing okay right now.
I do think so too. I don't think that we are in a bubble. That's not the feeling that I'm getting.
No.
Maybe I'm blinded, but that's not the at least not. I think we were, but I don't think that we are anymore.
Yeah, you could have very
Um,
easily made the argument in 2015, 2016 that CS is a bubble. Like, it's a 3 year
yeah,
old video game. Like CS:GO
Oh yeah.
is like 3 years old. Or skins have been around for like 2 years or 1 year. Like there's no way these are going to be worth money. Very easy to say that. Now
Oh yeah.
the game's skins are now 7 years old, 8 years old.
Yeah.
They're they're gonna they've got some staying power now.
Yeah, it's also like okay, that's a bit difficult for me because I'm in Denmark and like Counter Strike here is like massive, but
Yeah,
the esport is just at least it appears to me like it has never been like it's never
it's
been like
it's doing
what do you
so
call it
well,
like
but
strong.
it's so
It's doing
dominated
so
by
well.
Navi at the moment.
Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
I would love to
Like
see something I would love to see is putting the tier 1 tournaments, multiply their prize pool by 10, multiply that by 10, but then have smaller events. So tier 2 events have what prices the major is currently at, so that you have
uh,
more people able to compete and earn a living, keeping them more interested and not destroying the circuit.
I don't agree. I
Yeah,
think I don't agree. I think the esport needs to develop naturally. And I don't think it's a money issue. But I think that like I think it's gonna come as long as like Valve updates it every now and then, like they did last year to 2 million instead of 1 million. But I think it's really interesting actually that Valve has apparently learned something from Dota on
apparently.
that front. Yeah, which is like yeah, a good because you shouldn't have an 18 or whatever. It's a massive price pool that they have over there because it's just gonna ruin it, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but I think I just to get it back on point. I think we are in a really I think the future is okay. I think the future is okay for us here. I don't think that we are in a stock hold, but that's just my personal
I by the way, I want to fracture my point. I don't want to mean that we 10x the prize pools now. Like this is just something that the game builds to,
Oh yeah,
where
then
we
I agree.
have
Definitely,
um,
definitely.
larger prize pools and then the ability to have multi-tiered events where you've got then more pros, where it's not the same games that everyone's watching all the time. People can have different leagues that they watch and enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really good thing to strive towards, I think. And it's also something that like honestly, like for me personally, I like when you know the game, like it's way more. I also like football, so like I hate football, but I honestly find it way more engaging to watch a good Counter Strike match than to watch a good football match. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that the game, fundamentally speaking, and the way that it works, it has the potential to be a long-term stay, and not just in like a couple of years, but like long term
Yeah,
if they do update it, maybe bring out Source 2 at some point.
yeah. Well, that's something that Valve's going to have under their sleeves for a long time. Is going to be the ability to update to Source 2, port skins over so that people don't like freak out and leave the game. Um,
Mm.
People will have the ability to go. So going to Source 2, going to regular 128 tick servers, going like they've got so many cards up their sleeves to be able to keep the game chugging along. And the numbers
Right.
already for the game aren't bad when you're getting like 700,000 concurrent users in a 24-hour period. Like,
Oh,
yeah, and that's
oh, very good.
after all these bot bans, after so many of these, you've still got a whole massive healthy player base.
Yeah, yeah, you do, and like that's it's a really impressive feat by Valve. I gotta give them that, right? Um, yeah, it really it's I think generally speaking it's in a good place, and I think that it has it does have the potential to grow, and I think that esports as a future concept in general is I think there was a point in time for a couple years ago where people were really hyping it up, maybe something that it shouldn't be, but I do think that it is something that's going to stick around and something that is going to become only bigger. And I don't see Counter Strike currently not being a part of that, because there's no other game that has the same sort of elements that Counter-Strike does. And Valorant, but like, you know, uh, it, yeah, it's not the same.
Oh, by the way, I think I've just got a notification that you're on Jesus's most recent video.
Oh,
You're
I am.
officially famous.
I am. Oh my God, that is the biggest moment of my life. Oh my
Oh,
God.
biggest moment of your life. Oh man.
Oh, thank you.
That's
This actually fixes everything for me. They don't even have to fix the currency for me now because I'm on Jesus video.
that's
Oh
awesome.
man,
I'm
no, that's cool. I hope we
oh.
blurred out my name though. We'll
That's
see. I guess
exciting.
otherwise everyone knows who Numbers is. But yeah.
And I'm gonna have to talk to
Oh,
him soon. I'm gonna have to get him around. We'll see. See if he wants to. But yeah, so we've been distracted this section. Lots has been happening.
yeah.
So why with back to the point of these stock cults? Why do you think that they form? Why do you think they formed?
I think fundamentally speaking, again, I think it's a problem. I think it's to do with inequality. I think it's to do with desperation. I think, generally speaking, I think a lot of this is around community. I think a lot of this is around people finding or trying. I think it's around people's brain trying to go ahead and find some sort of like way to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, specifically with coronavirus. And I think that's what we are seeing now. That's basically the reason why. I think it feels good to believe that you know all the answers when in fact everything is so uncertain. Like if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Um, it's basically just a mind trick, and you saw it exactly the same thing. Yes, like last year with QAnon, it's exactly the same thing. It's just to do with stocks and a different crowd.
Yeah.
So, but it's the same fundamental human aspects, and I think it's something that we're gonna. It's whenever things get uncertain, we see it pop up. We also saw it with the UFOs and with whatever else. It's something that's gonna keep
Conspiracy theories
popping
in
up.
general. People love to
Yeah,
get inquisitive and want to know everything.
yeah, exactly. And that feeling of I have all the answers is a great feeling, and it can provide some sort of comfort.
Yeah. And
Um,
when people agree with you because you've connected these dots and you have someone giving you this confirmation.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. Exactly, and also if you go in and you read some of these and like Superstar or whatever else they call it, like if some of these stories, I mean, some of these people, it's a very sad thing because some of them are desperate.
Yeah.
They
YOLO,
they
the
are in
last of their
dire
money.
straits.
Like they're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I have nothing else to lose after this. Let's do it. And
Yeah,
there's many that get downvoted where they've lost it all. Like
yeah,
there's a few
yeah,
winners and they just want to be one of those.
exactly. They want to try that, and then they also want to just be right. So they make up these figures like hedge funds, which is a weird sort of figure to have, but it makes sense. Like the reason why they got mad at hedge funds in the beginning, right, was because of like the financial crisis, and that didn't really have anything or much to do with hedge funds.
Yep.
That had to do with banks primarily. So it's a weird evil figure, but I guess hedge fund sounds kind of evil. So that's
You have a
that's why
baddie.
I guess
You have a bad
you
guy.
have a baddie. Yeah, exactly.
If you
Yeah,
if you can amass people to beat the bad guy, oh man, they'll do it. Like
yeah.
especially when they're at
That's
home, locked down from with this pandemic. It was a perfect
yeah,
storm. It was an amazing storm to watch happen.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
people are like, I've got nothing better to do. I'm not spending money on all this fuel and all these extra things. Let's YOLO it in the stock market because why not? People are
Exactly.
making
And
money.
it's also that perfect level of like what would you call it, gullibility or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
where you know enough that you
Mount
can
Stupid So that's
Yeah.
so. So for those that don't know, there is a fantastic little graphic that I will put in here for a thing called there's a point of information and confidence called Mount Stupid. So you're starting down here where you know nothing about a subject, and your confidence in your knowledge in that subject is very minimal. You learn a little bit about this subject and you climb Mount Stupid. You will be at the top. You have confidence that you know what is going to happen. You know everything about this subject. No one can dissuade you. You start to learn more, you fall off that mountain, and then it's a slow grind. As you start to learn more, you gain that confidence back.
Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And that is just you're at the peak level, and then you think you have all the answers.
And then
And
you
that I think
don't.
that's yes. You do not. You do not. Not that I have all the answers, or that anyone else have all the
No.
answers, but like knowing that you don't have all the answers is a good thing.
Yeah.
So
you,
yeah,
you don't know what you don't know, and that's a very important thing to keep in mind sometimes. If you don't know, you can always ask a question. If you're going to try and behave like you know everything, you're going to come unstuck. Especially when you know very little.
it's exactly. It's like yeah. You always like if you always like assume that if you always actually look, and that's also I think sort of part of it. Like we like sort of confirmation bias, right?
Yep.
That we really want to look for information that confirms what we want to be true. So I think a good general idea, something that's extremely difficult, and I'm not personally always good at it, and it doesn't actually matter if it's for Counter-Strike investments, right, or if it's from anything else. If you think CS20 capsule is going to the moon, then even though it feels terrible, like we should always go ahead and look for the information that says that it isn't,
Yep.
because then we can make informed decision instead of lying to ourselves.
There's been many people that have lied to themselves for the pursuit of money, and it's ended. It's ended both very well and very bad. People have lost their homes over convincing themselves that this is the play.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yep. Going into massive debt is something that has unfortunately made a lot of people lose their lives, their livelihoods, in their actual lives, because they've gone into this thinking they know everything. They've lost it all. They've lost more than they could ever hope to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that's also why just it's while it is super interesting, it's also like it's sort of like watching like a train wreck, right? You can just sort of you
Yep.
can like or a car crash. You just know it's gonna happen, and the only thing you can do is just to watch.
Yep.
Uh,
No matter what you say, it's not going to change the outcome.
it isn't no, it is not.
Once someone's course is set, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Numbers, I want to say a big thank you to coming and having a fantastic discussion with me. I think what time is it now? We've had a good old 90 minutes of talking here.
yeah.
This has been awesome. It's been so easy to smash out this time. The discussions with you have been incredibly informative. They've been incredibly interesting. I mean, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna end this here. I'm gonna get these videos edited and then we'll publish them to YouTube later. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone who has come on live to listen to us. Everyone who's popped in and out. Thank you so much. If you're watching this on YouTube, please come and join the Discord, which is in the link down below. Come join. You can come and listen to these podcasts when they happen. I'm trying to get them done weekly. I might have a little bit more frequency this next month, a little bit less. We'll see what happens, just with Christmas and a few things going on where I am. thank you all for coming. I hope to see you next time. Nombers, thank you once again for a fantastic discussion.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good day, and yeah, goodbye.